All right, looks like we're ready to roll. We're ready to roll. I can turn it over to you, Miss Anthony, and you can just send it back over when you're done.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everybody. Um, let's make sure we all clocked in and let's drop your names and stuff in the chat this morning. And we're so grateful to be on this morning. And our motivational word for today will be determination. Um, each time that you all clock in, log in, and show up for class, it's showing that you are determined. And I'm reminded of a quote per Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where he said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. That surely exemplifies determination, and no matter what come your way, you're still showing up for yourself. So that let me know that somewhere down the line you had a change of mind and you began to think positive. And when you combine positive actions with positive thinking, it results in success. And that is a part of determination, because if you can change your mind, you can definitely change your life. And I want to encourage each one of you to keep going, keep showing up for yourself. And you can change the game, but don't let the game change you. Because the only limits you have are the limits you believe. So believe in yourself and excel to the highest that you can. And one thing we're going to always remember to do is seek God and keep Him first, and the rest is history. Keep learning, keep growing, keep showing up, keep pushing forward. All right, Miss Cox.
All right, that was amazing. What a word of motivation this morning before we start our class, determination. And Miss Anthony, thank you. It is right on time because as we prepare to count down the days to graduation, it is not just a graduation. It is not just a ceremony, an event. It is literally an an opportunity for you to step outside of yourself and see, if I did this, now it's only the beginning for some of us, but if you could do this, if you could start something and finish something, y'all know for me, starting and finishing, that motivates me. And some things, there's one thing I haven't finished, and years later I'm like, okay, I got to go back to school. I got to go back to school. I got to go back to school, and that's going to happen real soon. But I want you to step outside and really see the opportunity that you have moving forward. This is only the beginning. So on the road to graduation, that was a great word, determination. We are definitely determined. We're getting there. And I absolutely love that motivation for the day. So I want y'all to take that, chew it up, okay? Do with it what you need to do with it. Some people say get what you need. So once you get what you need, you just take it that with every day's motivation and keep moving. Today, we're going to move forward. We have a couple of things we need to look at, and then we're going to move over into our specialty. But I am going to share my screen, and you guys should be seeing a Google screen for polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay. It is an endocrine disorder. Endocrine disorder. We're going to look at pigmentation issues and PCOS. All right. But what I want to do here is just this is where you should adopt and have knowledge of your consultation going to the next level. Okay. The consultation going to the next level, which means you have to start your conversation. You have to have a series of questions. You have to start some self studies. You have to do some trials, some what we call them pretty much photo journaling. You're taking pictures of your before. A lot of you guys are already doing it. You're taking pictures of your after. You're doing videos of before. You're analyzing. You're looking at people a little bit more different than you did before you started school. You're looking a little deeper. And so I wanted you to just look at a few things. And I'm going to actually pin this page so it'll be at my top bar so I can always go back to it. But we look at polycystic ovarian syndrome, okay, PCOS. Because it says endocrine disorder, I want you to know what endocrine disorder is. Okay, endocrine. You have your endocrine glands. Your endocrine has a heavy composition of your hormones. All right, heavy composition of your hormones, and so we hear so much of PCOS because hormonal issues arise from the surface. We deal with the skin. We deal with the aesthetic of what people see on the outside of the skin. So PCOS, something that's going on the inside, shows it has so many barriers on the outside of the skin. And so, no, we cannot diagnose, but we need to learn what symptoms, when we see symptoms, we need to also know what causes. So we're asking questions compared to that. We want to also ask, have they been to a physician before? Have they have they had any treatments? Okay. Have you taken any medication? Have you had any surgeries? We can ask any question we want to make sure we get a great deal of information. And that's what we're trying to do, is peel together the information. But when clients are saying they have PCOS, please know that it falls under the endocrine system. The endocrine system, there's multiple systems within the body. But the endocrine system is going to be our hormones, okay? Um, and we have them in men and we have them in women, okay? Also, endocrine system, it works hand in hand with the reproductive system. This is why when there's an issue with PCOS, it may have a heavy influence on whether this person can conceive children. All right. These two systems work together. But you need to know that every system in the body works together to make everybody do what it needs to do. But the endocrine system and the reproductive system is going to work together. And then you have the integumentary system, which is the system of the hair, skin, and nails. All right. All three of these systems are going to work together. So when someone becomes pregnant, when someone at puberty, you have all of these systems working together, because what we see on the outside is just a simple assembly of what's going on the inside. And so with PCOS, we see a lot of individuals that have that. We need to learn what the symptoms are. We need to know what it looks like, and how better way can I train my students is to you train yourself to see these symptoms when you see them, just by having conversation. All right, it should give you red flags or light bulbs should be going off. Okay, PCOS, or something related to the endocrine, something related to hormones, something related to reproduction. So that's why a lot of times when I'm talking to women and I'm seeing things going on with their skin, I'm asking questions. Eventually, I will move down to, have you recently had a pregnancy? Have you recently given birth? Have you recently been on birth control? Have you recently come off of birth control? Because all these systems are going to work together. All right. And so our consultation just needs to sharpen up. We need to go a little bit deeper. And then here's some symptoms. Without you, remember, we can't diagnose, but when you see two or three of these together, you already know, okay, it looks like an overview for PCOS. I can't diagnose, but I need you to go get this checked out. Or sometimes we may say PCOS and the client goes, yeah, I have that. Boom. Now we have a confirmation. Now we know what the symptoms look like, and then we can look at the treatments as well. We know what treatments look like. So insulin resistant, okay. These individuals, when we talk about insulin resistant blood sugar regulation, I'm gonna ask the question: are they a diabetic? Have they ever been borderline? If they are diabetic, are they type 1 or type 2? Type 2 diabetes is reversible. Okay. Um, and then also with modern day, are they on any weight loss shots? Are they on any diabetic medication? Okay. And one of the medication will be metformin. And so sometimes we got grandmamas, we got cousins, we know what kind of medication. Sometimes they may not say diabetes, but they may say sugar. Okay. Old folks may say sugar. Heavy menstrual bleeding. I would ask questions about your menstrual cycle. Is it regular? Is it irregular? How long has it been irregular? Do you have short cycles or are they very, very long? Are they light or are they very, very heavy? Okay. Um, the cycles are going to run endocrine, hormone, and also reproductive systems. Okay. A lot of times, as an esthetician or cosmetologist, beauty professional, by asking these questions, you're asking basically what the doctor is not asking. You're doing the work of the doctor and you're sending them into to see a physician, and you've already done the consultation. All right. So these are the areas you want them to check out. Hirsutism, which is excessive hair growth. There are excessive hair growth, and then there's abnormal hair growth. Okay. Hirsutism is excessive hair growth. All right. Too much hair growing in an area that usually this hair is not that long, it's not that thick. All right. Excessive hair growth. Abnormal hair growth is hypertrichosis. Make sure y'all mark that down. Abnormal hair growth is hypertrichosis. On a woman, on a female, on a lady or a girl, what is an abnormal hair growth? It is something that you would normally see on women. All right. So I'm just saying women for example. Go to the chat. Give me a part of the body where you will see abnormal hair growth. And you like, now I know women don't have hair, ain't supposed to have hair like that down here or over there or on that part of the body. Okay. Something you see all the time, excessive hair growth, a lot of it. Okay. And then also there's hypertrichosis, abnormal. It ain't even supposed to be there. I'm going to the chat. Chin, yes. Most of the time, women are not, should not produce barber hair. Barber hair is hair of a male, hair on the face. It's thicker, stronger, it's terminal, it has color to it, okay? That is hair that is produced for men. Women should not have barber hair, okay? Women should not have hair on the lips, come down like you can see a full goatee, or you can see beard, you can see pork chops, which is sideburns that flow down the cheeks, okay? That's something you should not see. That's abnormal hair growth, hair in places you would normally not see hair. All right. Um, and then this is what I want you to check out as well. You know that since endocrine system deals with hormones, so you have a lot of individuals. We love all people. All right. In aesthetics, what I want you to start doing, do not look at people as colors. We look at people as types. We don't look at people's sexual orientations. That's not our business. Okay. Based on who you are, whether I'm gonna do your hair or not. Whatever your religion, whatever your belief is, And I love the Lord myself, but I respect people, you know. So if a client came in to me who originally was born a woman and they came in looking with the characteristics of a male, I am going to ask what question. Give me one question that you would ask. Somebody unmute. If a first time client came in, they were originally born a woman, but they have the character, they look like a male. What is one question you would ask?
That's kind of hard right there.
Okay. One question I would ask is, are they on any hormones? Does that make sense, y'all? Are you on any hormones? I need to know that first. And then I'm going to ask about the reproductive system. I'm going to ask about surgeries. I want to get all that out the way because, people can fool you because they can look like real men but not be a man. They can look like a real woman and not be a woman. So I'm not biased with sex, or the sex of them. I want to really ask the questions. All right, born male, do you think that's something we should put on our consultation? Or maybe, are we taking any hormonal drugs or trans hormonal drugs? Okay. And so that gives them that will if you put that on that application and they mark it, then your next set of questions are going to come. Are were you male going into female, or were you female going into male? Once they mark that, I'm going to say, are you currently under a physician's care? If they say yes, so even if they said no, I'm going to ask, have you taken any medications? Have you taken any hormonal medication? At that point, they say yes, bam. Now we got we cooking with fish grease. I want to know, what are those medications? I'm going to study and research those medications just like the doctor does to see what the side effects for hair, skin, and nails. Once I see those side effects, I know what I'm looking for. All right. If I see symptoms, or I know what I'm looking for, the side effect of this drug, the side effect of this hormone replacement is going to tell me, well, you may have hair loss. Well, you may have acne prone skin. You may have um, a period a period of time that they're going through the growth of hair or the reduction of hair growth. All right, you may acne, something could be going on. I don't want to be way off and just put everybody under the same category. Remember, we take care of issues and problems. So it doesn't matter who is who. If they have something going on with their skin, our job is to get to the bottom of it and provide a solution. All right. So we get to the bottom of it, provide a solution. Although they are under physician's care, we need to also be involved with whatever the doctor prescribes them. So if you get a medication, and you do that by building a rapport and making sure it's a safe place that they can talk to you. Okay. So you build a rapport. Once they give you the medication that they're on, then you can research that. And as a person comes in, you can educate them more about their skincare. And it's an individualized consultation. It's a continuation, because they're going through a process. At this time, they also will have different symptoms come up, and you could treat those symptoms from basic to signature to deluxe machine type facials. Okay. We want to be an expertise. We want to give our expertise in everything. Okay. Everything related to hair, skin, or nails, no matter what department we're in. So we want to give our expertise. So the first thing I would ask, if they mark that they are taking trans hormonal medication, okay, is, do you know the name of it? Can they list it? And I'm immediately going to research it. Okay. And as I research it, I'm going to look at some of the symptoms. What should I be seeing And I'm gonna always reference it to hair, skin, and nails. And so when someone is going through that, that's just like um, a birth control medication, which is full of hormones. So it's the same, similar to the same thing that could be going on. So if you've researched birth control medications, whether it's a shot or whether it's a pill, birth control medications are used to treat a lot of things, not just prevent pregnancy. It's used to treat a lot of things. And most of the time, individuals that are diagnosed with PCOS, the doctors do try to put them on some form of birth control to either control the overflow of the bleeding or to control the pain during the menstrual cycle. And so everybody could be taking something, but it may have a different, they may be taking it for different purposes. So to enhance your knowledge, I'm going to say, do some research on PCOS. You want to look at the overview, the symptoms, the causes, the diagnosis, the treatments, what doctors you could refer them to, and then are there any clinical trials? If you like reading, I read the clinical trials, all right? Because I feel like somebody along the way, I'm going to run into someone who's dealing with this, and I want to have the information. I want to be knowledgeable of it. And so that's when looking at PCOS. I know it sounds a lot, but you have, let me look at something. Let me look at something. Um, Okay. Percentage of women in America with PCOS. It says in the United States, polycystic ovary syndrome affects an estimated 5 to 10% of women of reproductive age. So once someone starts to be on their cycle, 5 to 10% of women of reproductive age. This translates to roughly 5 to 6 million women in the US who have PCOS. It's the most common hormonal disorder among women of reproductive age. So since this is common, all right, one of the most common hormonal issues, who mainly is going to be your target market? Women. So you must learn about women, what goes on their bodies and the inside, what goes on the outside, what are some of the things that they're affected by, because these are the people who are coming in and laying on your table. All right. It's the most common hormonal disorder among women of reproductive age and a leading cause of infertility. This is where the reproductive system comes into play. While it's a common condition, a significant number of women with PCOS remain undiagnosed. So this is why when you are dealing with clients, you're doing consultation, you're not over, put some time out for the consultation. I know individuals who have their 25 who has not, who do have never been to a female doctor, a gynecologist. I have individuals who don't get sick. I know individuals who don't get sick and don't have doctors. All right. But everybody needs to have, at some point, overall checkups, overview. Up to 70% of cases going undetected. All right. So I bet you those individuals are coming into your salons and spas, or they will come into your salons and spas. Here's a great thing, marketable. Remember, I told you that aesthetics is not just aesthetics by itself. It's not just the care of the skin, but it also is wellness, the wellness of the body. So if you're going to become an esthetician, your goal is to not only see your client's skin beautiful, and but also to see their body whole. What other certifications or licensures could you get to support aesthetics and wellness? So you're becoming an esthetician, but what else could you have under your belt to push you into wellness? Because aesthetics, you have a responsibility of not only taking care of what they see, the aesthetic is what's on the outside, but you have a responsibility to move them into wellness of the body as well. So let's go into the chat. Think about this, especially since you're graduating. Okay, I'm going to be an esthetician, but what else can I put under my belt that would assist me and push me into the wellness part of aesthetics? Let's go into the chat. What else could you put? Okay. So you're going to school for aesthetics. Okay. And you know, aesthetics is the care of the skin. All right. And wellness is the care of the body. Aesthetics is just it's two parts. It's wellness and the care of the skin. So the care of the skin and the care of the body. You guys are educated in the care of the skin. And we talk about the body a little bit. But if you're going to get an esthetician license, what other certifications should you get that would help you with the care of the body? You want to bring this thing full circle. You want to do the aesthetics and you want to do the wellness. That client that comes in with you, you're not just making them look good, you need to make them feel good from the inside out. So, what other certifications, what other careers could you add to aesthetics to give you the full circle? What could you do? Okay. Maybe you guys don't know, but you can become fitness experts. Okay. You can become nutritionists. All right. You also could get into nursing, whether that's um, CNA, medical assistant, or going into nursing. These are some great ones. All right. You can also complement your aesthetics with massage licensure. You could complement your aesthetics with cosmetology. All right. So and also you can do if you like talking, yes, Danielle, I was saying that. I was just about to say that you can do wellness counseling. Okay. And you know, they have counseling of different kinds. You have coaching. And if you there's coaching people and really some people do need a coach, which is an accountability partner. All right. So you'll coach them through, you give them a blueprint and you'll work them through that blueprint or through that plan. So it's a nutrition coach, counseling. That's a lot of conversation. It's using different tactics to change their mindsets about the way that they eat, some of the behaviors that they have. But all of those are great to complement. Okay. They're great to complement what you're already doing, and you will move the needle of wellness. So you'll be more well rounded than your average esthetician. Okay. When you go to shows and events, you're going to see in the booklets when it talks about classes, You're going to have classes of aesthetics, and then there's also classes of wellness. All right. Let me look here. Let's go to the chat. So far, we've had a lot of talk going on this morning. Give me one thing that you have that you've learned so far. Let's go into the chat. Miss Anthony, if you can look in the chat and let's see what they are saying. Everybody's participation. One thing in the chat that you've learned so far. I don't see the chat moving. That means, do we need to do another roll call? Are you there on the other side? We haven't called names. One thing in the chat.
No one is responding.
Okay. Danielle, Raquel, Tanaya, I know you just came on. Jewel. All right, Danielle's in the chat, Miss Anthony.
Aesthetic isn't just about skin and beauty, it's much deeper if you actually love what you do. That's from Danielle Young.
Amen. Amen. That is good. That's good. All right, Miss Raquel, Jewel, what do we have? Let's do another roll call. Let's put our names in the chat. All right, I
Sanaya,
see.
Danielle, Raquel.
Okay, this is participation. All right, this is a quick show guide. This is a show in September in Columbus, Ohio. Anybody ever went to Columbus, Ohio? All right, this is their lineup. All right, this is their lineup. So I wanted to come here to show you that a lot of the continuing education classes that you go to will have skincare and also have wellness. If you look at some of the classes, tiny fine line, tattoos, paramedical tattooing. So this is mainly scar camouflaging when it looks like taking out fine lines, but they're doing some things with stretch mark removal. Just reading through I'm skimming through the titles. Uh, Fibroblasting, okay, which is like a freezing of the cells. Fibroblasting also includes tightening of the skin. So a lot of times individuals who have wrinkles, whether it comes from having a baby and you're trying to get that stomach back tight, or you're trying to tighten up areas. Sometimes it's in the face, in the neck. They do a procedure called fibroblasting. Okay. Introduction to pro-cell therapies, microchanneling, which is simply microneedling, protocols that perform products that sell, pretty much consultation, cupping with a purpose. And so when we talk about cupping, we're talking about many individuals use cupping to get rid of pain, but if you ever seen anyone doing post cosmetic surgery, like body cosmetic surgery, they have to have lymphatic drainage. And so some procedures, you guys can incorporate cupping as well. Um, and for us, an idea of cupping, one trend is, I don't know if it's still a trend, but individuals may want to enhance their breasts or enhance their buttocks, and they will put the suction cups on. But these are smaller cups that you can also perform massage and help relieve pain, and you will put them in the back, around the neck, down the arms. And so it can kind of look gross sometimes, but it moves. If you can keep moving with it, it moves that fatty um, lymphatic drainage, that lymphatic fluid out. So your face becomes more sculpted. You don't have this, some people call it fat face. You don't have that. You get rid of that. And then they would prefer to, call it facial contouring. And so you're really giving a great shape and structure to the face. There's Hal Cosmeceuticals, who a lot of the products that we use. This is the son behind it, but he's the science genius behind it. Um, the science of internal wellness for external beauty. This will be a class that people, it doesn't look like it's fun, but when we're talking about wellness of the body, this will be a class I would urge before you go to anything else. This will be a class that I would say definitely put on your schedule. Okay. Definitely put it on your schedule because it talks about the internal wellness of the for external beauty. So it's going to talk about the systems, different things that people have going on and its effect on the skin, okay, and how to channel what's going on inside and how to make the skin look better by reducing wrinkles, things of that nature, improving the skin texture, tone. And so this would probably be the money class. So once you know this makes everything else work. All right. And we have a slew of makeup classes, a slew of makeup classes, makeup, lashes, and brows. And none of that really looks, and then of course business. So none of that really looks good unless the inside of the body is working properly. So I just wanted to show you that. And when you are hearing about trade shows and things of that nature, go and see. I only saw one wellness class, okay? But always go to the wellness classes because it's going to teach you about how to deal with the body, how to serve the client from the inside out. And so it's going to be a shoot of information that you wouldn't get anywhere else. And then you can go to how to be the best, do the best facials, how to do the best waxing, how to get rid of fine lines, how to do camouflage tattooing, get rid of stretch marks. You can do all that stuff later. Okay. But you know, Columbus is in September. Also, San Antonio is in September. I think San Antonio classes are a little more out there a little bit. And so we just wanted to look at that. Going back to PCOS, remember, I'm going to need everybody's participation. So you hear clients about diabetes, you hear clients about their menstrual cycle, you're listening to them. You hear them talk about excessive hair growth, hirsutism. You hear them talk about missed cycles. Okay. So heavy cycles and missed cycles. You hear them talk about excessive hair growth or hair thinning or hair loss. Something is going on with that hair. It definitely has something to do with reproductive system and circulatory system. So I'm bringing in another system because remember, the blood carries the nutrients. The nutrients go to the follicle, which houses the hair root, which when the root feeds, the hair grows. So if you have something going on with the hair, it definitely could be something related to the circulatory system, acne and oily skin. And I don't want to get too deep, but if you definitely think something's going on with the circulatory system, it could also be connected to the digestive system. That's why we ask the client, what's your snacks, what you've been eating, because what they're taking in, the blood is pulling out, whether it's good or bad, and it's sending it nutrients or not, the good and the bad, to all the hairs to feed. So either your hair gonna produce good or it's gonna come out looking bad or it's not gonna come out at all. Okay. Acne and oily skin. So when we start to see different grades of acne, we can see enlarged pores. You may say maybe this client is PCOS, but do a little bit more investigation. Weight issues, body mass issues. Sometimes on charts it has obesity, morbid obesity. So when you see, sometimes people call it heavy set, some people call it big bone, whatever. But if you've noticed, if you could even ask for pictures, they were one size here, and over a period of time, they're now this size. And y'all, these are symptoms without stress being added, without depression, without anxiety, without the ways of the world. So just add the ways of the world to these issues, you can see them explode. Okay. So a person has weight issues, and they may say, I can't lose weight for nothing. I don't even eat that much. I can't lose weight for nothing. Or they tell you they go 15 pounds, they go 10 pounds, they go right back, you know? And so a person that has weight issues, they can't lose weight, it's going to be a sign of PCOS. Ovarian cyst formation. So you will ask, have you been diagnosed with multiple cysts? You have polycystic. Are you polycystic? For one. And then anxiety, depression, their mental health, and fertility. All right. And so I ask questions related to all of these. I'm getting all the business because all of these are going to affect what we see on the outside. All right. So just sometimes Google it, save it, put in your notes, okay, along with what you've read in the chapter. But I'm going to tell you this: what's in the chapter, the book, only gives you a small understanding. So a lot of it you'll have to go and do some of your own research as well. Okay. And then with understanding PCOS, so I may put this page, I'm gonna put it in the chat. You guys could click it and go back. Okay, y'all haven't been. All right, all right, all right, all right. But yeah, I just want to really inform you guys of that. So make sure you go and check it out. Okay. Let's go into, I think I want to look at like another show guide. And let me look at okay, the International Aesthetics, Cosmetics, and Spa Conference It's usually abbreviated as IS. The next one, it is September 28th and 29th. It is only skincare. So if you don't want to go to a show that has hair and nails, you can go to a show that's only skincare. And so I been to this one too. Let's look at the free classes. Let me go to education. All right, 2025 classes. So you got classes on Sunday and Monday. Here's a class, barrier breakdown, the secret to resilient skin, the psychology of lymphatic massage for skin health. This is a wellness class. So if you're into lymphatic drainage, you're into more in-depth massages for skincare. This is talking about the psychology of lymphatic massage. So that's a wordy, it's going to be a wordy class. It's going to be class with terms, but also instruction. So it's for estheticians, medical estheticians, and massage therapists. Hormones and clinical skincare. Guess what the number one topic probably going to be? PCOS, pregnancies, blood pressures, diabetes, okay, birth controls, any clinical trials. So yes, hormones and clinical skincare. Y'all, I would go to this class if majority of my clientele was people of color. If majority of my clientele was people of color, this is a class I make sure I go to. Okay. Although in Fitzpatrick's, there's a lot of skin protection, but most, you can do the analytics on it. You have people of color, just anyone who's not European, have more issues with hormonal imbalances. Okay. You have women who are going through perimenopause, menopause, women who have had hysterectomies, PCOS. This is going to be the class that you're like, I'm challenged. I don't know what else to do with their skin. This is the class that you would get that type of information from. So it would not be brand focus where you have to buy a product, actual knowledge. And this is under holistic health and wellness. So you have a duty as an esthetician to get as much wellness training as possible. Okay. Of course, in aesthetics, they have social media. They also have med spa, so advanced skin strategies. So they're talking about probably micro needling, things of that nature. And this person is a skincare coach. So this person probably is retired, but they, could become your coach. Retail, business management, more social media, more beauty workshop. Okay, so now we're looking at some hands-on 15-minute Brazilian waxing discussion and demonstration. And that is Kristen, and she owns Enso Wax. Okay. Aesthetics workshop. So we wire the nervous system and rejuvenate the skin. Once again, one of those advanced. You gotta be prepared mentally to sit in these classrooms because there's gonna be a lot of words. There's gonna be a lot of talking about internal systems of the body, and it could possibly move into advanced techniques such as micro needling and things of that nature. More business classes, holistic health and wellness, inside out beauty. This sounds like a great class. Gut health, epigenetics, and the future of holistic skincare. All right. So she's a research scientist, and this is for esthetician, medical estheticians, makeup artists, massage therapists, wax, brow, lash artists. And so these holistic health and wellness classes sound amazing. And gut health is something, another thing that you would need to study because you have a lot of clients that come in with digestive issues, issues with the stomach, issues with the intestines. Okay. So there's a lot of things going on. Excretory system, which means when we eat, we are what we eat. And the best thing we need to do is when we eat it, the body digests it and then it begins to exit the body. Okay. That's why we have our livers, our kidneys, and our excretory system. They work, it's going to work together, all right, with digestive system. And everything we eat, we bring in, gotta find a way to come out. Some people have issues with how it comes out. Either it comes out or it don't comes out. They have an issue with gut. They're not eating vitamins. They're not taking their vitamins, probiotics. And so if you're going to specialize in and become a nutritionist or you're going to become a wellness expert, you would, these are the types of workshops or these are the types of education that you will share with your clients. Okay. And so you're not just concerned about how their skin looks, but what they're doing to their body actually gives us that final result, what they're bringing in. So if you get on track with your client about what's coming in and what they put in their body versus what you're doing on the outside, this person could have amazing skin. Okay. So I just wanted you to share, look at that. Uh, yeah. I just want you to look at that. And this is classes on Sunday and classes on Monday. The location of this is in a pretty area. I've only been to this show once. Yep, Palm Beach, Florida. And when I tell you it's a small town, Miami and Fort Lauderdale will be your closest big cities, maybe an hour or 2 hours, maybe an hour, 2 hours away. But when I tell you it is a really, really nice area, you just focus on skincare. It's a great show even to go to. Um, can be a little expensive because of the area. I don't think we saw homes less than 5 million. We did a tour. I don't think we saw a home less than 5 million. And of course, they have, but it is a very upscale area. It's a small town, and it's a small airport, Palm Beach County, but it has great food. They still give you the luxury of Miami, but on a small scale. So if you're interested, always look into International Aesthetics, Cosmetics, and Spa Conference. It's the IEC and CSC. Um, let's mark it here. So y'all do have a place to go. All right. So make sure y'all clicking those links. Any questions? Do we have Maya on? If Maya's on, roll call, put your name in the link in the chat. Maya's not on. Hey Maya, how you doing? All right, Maya's in the house. It's the roll call. Maya is in the house. All right, all right, all right. Eyelash extension application. Where I'm gonna assign some practical videos, but we're gonna jump into 7. Um, all right, we're gonna watch 3 videos, and then we're gonna prepare to go into. And these videos are short, y'all. And then we're gonna prepare. Um, and these are by procedure. All right. And so then we're prepared to go into our next chapter and talk about tinting and brow lamination. Okay. All right. So although we have procedures, I wanted to show you this. A rubric is going to be an assessment procedure. So you'll find this in your, it's going to be in aesthetics as well. Here's the criteria. It says procedure 6.1, temporary eyelash strip application. All right. So this is where you are assessed. All right. Did they brush the client's eyelashes? Ensure lashes were clean and free of foreign material, such as mascara particles. If needed, cleans the client's eyelashes. So when the client came in, did we initially analyze the client? Okay. And clean that area. This you'll say, I'm confident that I did it, or I need work. You say, hey, I got this down pat, or I need work. This is the area. These are some of the things I need to work on. And so most of the time you will have self-assessments. So when us going over different practicals, even though you say, hey, I've been doing this 5, 6 years, download the rubric, okay? And see if you are doing this in the steps that you're supposed to be doing them. And most of the time when we're self-evaluating ourselves, no one else sees it. And so, hey, mark the things you need help in, okay? And those become the things that builds our study schedule, our study practice. And once we correct those, then we can move on to the next thing. All right. So I definitely wanted you to see the rubric for eyelash application. And let's look at strip application. Artificial lashes come in an assortment of lengths. Such as mascara. All right. So we needed to look into that one. And also, let's look at cluster applications since I've seen some individuals when we studied our um, eyelash. Now, once you see the video, you're also going to see the procedure. All right. It even should tell you that you should only spend 20 minutes on this service. This is the implements and materials that you'll need. And let me just shout out this LED light. I love a good LED light for lash placement. Let's see if we can find that. It was a big thing last year in San Antonio, Texas, when it came to a lash class. And it was an Asian American who was teaching the class. And she was selling her LED light for like 40 bucks. But she was using that to cure the lashes. And she said that she could get more clients in. Clients didn't have time to cry or anything like that. She didn't have issues with a lot of her clients. So it sped up her time. She can get more clients in. So top 10 best LED light for eyelash extensions. Let's see. It's not really giving me, it's not really giving me anything. All of this is too big. It was a smaller light, so we're gonna have to do some research. Yeah, and all of these are not LED lights. So it's like a bum search. It's not giving me anything. I'm gonna have to go back and see, do I see that young lady um teaching. Let's see if she is teaching, and I want you guys to look her up. Oh, they still got the 2024 preview out. Let's look at education info. Okay. Here we go. We still have it out. So let's look here. And y'all, I will find some stuff. If I'm looking for something, I'll find some stuff. Let's just look here. So as I was telling you guys earlier, this was last year at San Antonio. We did have some students go to San Antonio. I really would like to go to San Antonio. It's September And the show in Florida is in September also. So anyone interested in going with me, that would be amazing. So microneedling, chemical peels, all that good stuff. All of this was about aging, chemical peels. It was a really, really good skincare show. And then, of course, we had wool aesthetics, microneedling, so a lot of advanced stuff. Um, Makeup, lashes, and brows. This was a brow lamination vegan brow henna tint. So you may want to look her up if you are searching. How do I make? All right, put in the chat. You may want to look her up if you are searching for a good tint that doesn't bother the skin. Um, Nick Townsend is an amazing, he's like the top brow specialist in the country. So make sure y'all look him up. And the lady with the vegan brow henna tint. So some kind of way she's put those two together. And she also is the lady here. It's the 40-minute lash service with LED light system or Pro Platinum using pre-made fans. Okay. So this was a great class. She's from Eva Lash Beauty Corporation. All right. So I want you guys to look her up. It was, when I say this was a really good class, it was a really, really good class. Um, so Maya, if you decide, you want to take some continuing education or just want to research, this is one lady you do want to follow. Just doing some more advancing to the industry. And of course, even in the lashes category, I think this was makeup bridal. And so with aesthetics, if you guys have a specialty in skincare, you need to also look at the other aspects of makeup and lashing and try to navigate and go to these bridal shows. First of all, any bridal show you see in Memphis or Mississippi, most of them are free. Jackson has a really, really big bridal show, maybe $5 or $10 to get in. But anything you see in Olive Branch, South Haven at the hotels, they're probably free. Literally, take your cards, go to each vendor space, drop your cards and try to build relationships. So everybody's always looking for a makeup artist, a lash specialist, something for the big day. As you mix and mingle and ask people when they're getting married and, oh, you're going to be a bride, just learn the language, learn to navigate the room, and then say, hey, I only got 30 minutes here. I'm going to stop here. I have 100 cards. I cannot leave until I give out 100 cards. Okay. So that's either me putting them in the hand or I'm going around to the vendors, but I'm going to leave my mark in this room before I leave. That's just a marketing tip. So even if you are doing lashes, even if you are saying, hey, I want to build my spa business. I'm gonna do more facials. You need to be hitting these events because that's where your clients are. If women are majority of your clients, you need to be at events where women are going to be at. Okay. Brunches, lunches, conferences, whether that's church, whether it's mimosa festival, I don't care. Wherever women will gather, malls, shoe area of the shoe department of dealers is a marketing day by itself. Take on Macy's. You're gonna go to the perfume, the makeup, and the shoe department. You can hit them all and say, hey, on Saturday I'm going to the whip chase and I'm hitting all three of these areas. I need to give out 100 cards, period. And so it's just more advancement wherever you are. If you're in Olive Branch, I'm gonna hit the Walmart. I'm gonna hit all the hotels. If I'm in South Haven, I'm actually gonna go to the hospital. Okay. I met so many nurses that want to collaborate. I even met doctors, okay, hospital staff. even going to the Walmart, the little South Haven Mall area. I don't know what they call it, but it's a lot of shops. I'm going in all those areas. All right. And so we're building business, building clientele. So all of this information you can take in and you can definitely use it. So make sure you guys click that link, download this page so you can check out Nick, check out the lady from Eva Lash, and then also check out Kendra, all right, with the bridal. But this lady here had an amazing classroom. It was packed. When I say it was packed, it was packed. And she was basically shortening your lash service down, 40-minute lash service with the LED light. So she was curing it and she would cure it, apply 2 or 3, cure, apply 2 or 3, cure. And she was telling them how to pre-make the fans. And of course, she was using pre-made fans also. So it wasn't a lot of individualized. It wasn't a classic look, but that's another reason why it can go faster. So she was a great demonstrator and she could articulate very clearly the next step for you to do. So sometimes we just need people to be clear in what to do next. And she did that for me. So make sure you check that out. Any questions? All right, because y'all know I get off and I wanted to come back here. So you're gonna make sure when you come over, you'll see a video, then you'll see a procedure. You're gonna have the implements and materials list, the preparation. So the pre-service is just mainly you preparing the treatment room and it should only take 20 minutes. So when you guys are initially timing yourself, it should be at a 20-minute mark. Okay. Um, and sometimes I would tell people go an extra 10 if you're a beginner, 30 minutes. And then as you start to move into that 30-minute mark, go to 25 and then you'll finally hit at 20. And then again, if you're really wordy and logical, you can, they describe each step. Okay. Okay. Describe each step. So that is cool too. Let's look at our video for the clusters. Let me pause for a minute also. Guys, remember our number one rule? We don't want this adhesive on the skin. And so they're playing it really, really close. As you can see how it dries and tightens up. They're playing it really, really close. So even though this is our procedure, make sure you look at each client differently. And as the more we study, the more we practice, we'll make sure we're not coming in contact with the client's skin because this adhesive could block pores. And the pores, what comes out of the pores? Oil, sweat, okay? Just your daily buildup of oil, sweat, and dirt. So we don't want to clog it up. We don't want to create styes or anything of that nature, okay? Even though you don't see them, these are pores, open follicles around here. We do not want to jam that up, okay? All right. Let's look at classic application. And Maya, I want to look at classic application because when it comes to your state board prep, in which we're going to be preparing for, your only job is to apply 6 individual lashes. So basically, like if you were going to do a classic, but you have to do 6 of them, okay? And so upon graduation, we're going to be working within our study guides, and also I want you to come in. I'm going to build you, well, we're going to build a kit together, and that's the kit that you would take to state board. It just shows you making sure your table's clean, also making sure you have a blood spill procedure, which means if you draw blood, do you know how to stop the client from bleeding? Okay, you don't want to spread bacteria. So that's your only thing is sanitation, cleanliness, disinfection, making sure you're keeping everything clean, and also applying 6 individual lashes. How does that sound? So I definitely want to show basically what you say. That's cute. Okay, Poppy. All right. So those individuals, those classics, that's what we're gonna study for state board application. Um, we're going to volume. Hold on. All right, guys, let's look at this refill. And I'm going to step away. I'll be right back. You can, you can put it in the folder. My thing is making sure that it is. Because when you guys need something, they claim they don't have it. So that was a reason it was just Saturday. Sure, there's some record somewhere. You know, sure that there's some form of paper. We just got to, you know, so they'll probably come and get it. Okay. And is she, she's there, right? I came in right after they dropped stuff off. I was just praying. I just have seen, you know, I've been over every day. It looks like nothing to some people, but I knew something is going on. That day, I believe that was. All right, that was our fill in. And I just wanted to push, thank you. I just want to push a little further. Let's go into our removal. And guys, we'll do our review flashcards. Maya, your assignment, we'll be back on Thursday, but just go over the flashcards that you see here. Chapter 6, chapter review flashcards. And it's basically going to be of the procedures, okay? So I just want you to go over those flashcards as when you get time. Let's look at removal, and then we'll be done for today. Awesome. All right. That's going to be our class today. When it came to the lash, I really want us to go through those applications, go through the refill and the removal, and then we'll pick up on um, some state board prep next week. But we want to start the chemical components, so lash lift and also lash tint and brow lamination. Okay, so we'll start that theory and we'll also learn about products and ingredients related to that. I know there are some students on here that you guys really do lashes. Okay, you operate, you do a really good job. Some of you may even do some educational components. Look at this as a plus, a bonus. Go in, hone your craft. Honing your craft means you're continuing studying. Even no matter how good you get, you're still practicing. You can work on something, you could build something, whether it's your time, whether it's your technique. And then you have references, okay? You have continued references. So there's tons of videos and learning the terminology. And also, I showed you the rubrics. And so you have procedure guidelines, tools, things that they need. So take what you already have and then let's just add 10 on top of it, okay? Let's just multiply by 10. And so we just only go higher and higher and higher, all right? So it's going to just hone your craft and you're going to be the best at anything that you put your hands to as long as you continue to study and work hard. Hey guys, I see you in class tomorrow, and I also see you back here Thursday. Remember, graduation is on the 26th. Stay tuned. Some emails Wednesday night with hours and graduation reminders. So just stay tuned. Everybody should get an email and just get ready for the 20 for you guys. Y'all have a good day. Thank you, Miss Anthony.
You're welcome.
My STs and my lash checks.